You want to see something cool? I got sent a prototype copy of Black Rose Wars Rebirth. This game isn't even out yet. It's in Kickstarter right now. I want to show it to you, it's so cool. So Rebirth is a sequel, but it's also an entry point for new players to get into the series. In the events of the first game, the Lodge, which housed the Order of Mages, was destroyed. Now, new wizards are hearing the call of the Black Rose from inside the rubble. Our goal is to show up, throw down with the other wizards, and come out the leader, the Grand Magister. So what type of game is this? Well, it's primarily a skirmish game. This is tactical combat, using minis and walking around a battlefield. It's also a deck building game, deciding what schools of magic you want to put into your spellbook. The final aspect is a programming game. You're going to be deciding what you want to do before the turn starts and then executing that sequence. So the schools of magic in this game are all brand new, really cool and thematic. You're going to start by choosing one and getting 6 spells from it. Now, spells come in different types. There's direct damage spells, there's personal augments, there's traps, and the coolest thing of all, the summons, baby. Look at these guys. Deciding if you want to hurl lightning bolts, augment yourself, or just have a bunch of guys stomping around the battlefield is half the strategy. Now you got the spells in your grimoire, but every turn you get to go draw 4 spells from any of the schools you want. That lets you add a lot of variability. Each spell has a light and a dark side, so there's a lot of choices. Your goal is to lay spells down in slots 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to cast them in that order when your turn comes around. Now, even though you have to predict what you want to do ahead of time, you have the ability to use a quick spell. You can put that inside the sequence somewhere you didn't plan for, or use one of your physical abilities like punching or walking. But for the most part, you're going to go 1, 2, 3 and decide if you want to cast that spell or pass it on your turn. The next cool mechanic is instability. When you cast spells with this icon, it actually puts instability counters out on the rooms. Once all those holes are filled, the room magically repairs itself to what it was 25 years ago. That flips the tile over and brings in a new ability for the players to use. This awards victory points and also changes the battlefield. It's really cool. Next cool mechanic, when players pass lines on the victory point scale, it actually advances phases of the moon. When you do that, it intensifies the quests and events that come out on the board. The Black Rose is actually a player in the game. It's an AI that gets powered up by events or when you don't complete quests. In this game, you get points depending on how much of an event you took part in. In this case, who got the most damage on Rickert before he was killed. This game's all about becoming the Grand Magister, so the more damage you do to a person or the more influence you had on flipping over a room show that you deserve to lead. And speaking of, dying in this game just means go back to your quarters and you come out next turn. It's about scoring the most points over time, not surviving. Now, there's simply just not enough time to talk about how great this game is, all the mechanics, or what's going on in the Kickstarter, which, by the way, is phenomenal and has unlocked a lot of stuff. But you should give this game a look. I'll record some more videos, I'll get some more playthroughs under my belt. I think it's worth your time, though.